Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Football Talk Shop, and I'm your host, Akbos, and it's the World Cup. There can't be any stage bigger than this one in terms of football as a whole. And I can't do this one alone. I've got my brothers with me. This is a star-studded lineup for the very first show on this channel where we're bringing you premium football content and live streams and all and all and all. And I've got Mbizio all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Mbizio, how you doing? How you doing, brother? It's good to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, my brother. It's an honor to be on the first ever show for the Football Talk Shop. As I've told you before, my friend, for me, you guys are some serious journalists, serious football pundits. You should be earning the big bucks there that Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville are thieving
Preach.
there in England.
We are on that part. We are on that part. We'll get there.
You know what I'm saying, my brother? But I'm happy to be here, gents. I'm excited. It's the World Cup. I'm shaking. Let's get it on, man. Let's get it on.
All right, brother. Thanks for being on the show in such short notice. You always come through, so thanks. It's a thing of honor to have the professor on the very first live stream on this one. And also, I've got my brother, my friend, the man, the myth, the legend, the Nigerian English man on this one, and is coming with all the Dutch, the Orange Boys vibe on this show. How you doing, brother?
Oh yeah, now my people, we are here. First episode. It's an honor that you called me to come on this first show. I appreciate you. Obviously, you know you're One Touch TV royalty anyway, but thanks for having me on the show. I'm touching down with my guy, the professor himself. And for the first time on one of these streams for a while, we're kind of against each other because the mighty Ducks are going up against Senegal today. So we're going to chop it up definitely, but I'm going to explain my reasons as the show goes on. Don't worry. Smash the like button, people. Smash the likes.
Do it.
Thanks for your time, brother. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate all your support. We all know that the wait is over. We've seen all the controversies and everything with this World Cup happening in a time like this when we still have the season going on. But all of the controversies are put out of the door now. It's time for all of these teams that are partaking in this massive competition to do the talking. Let the football speak right now. The competition started yesterday, and we saw the very first game of the competition between the host Qatar and Ecuador. I know you guys saw the game. I would love us to start this show on that note. What do you let me start with you, Mbizio. What do you think about what we saw from the opener, the very first game of the World Cup? What's your take on the game?
Akbos, we watched the game because it's a World Cup game, right? We watched the game because it's a World Cup game. But as far as the quality of football and the entertainment value we wanted to see, we didn't, unfortunately. We didn't expect Qatar to make waves, right? We didn't expect Qatar to be to bring any particular surprises, despite them having said that they would. But they were lower than the level I think people who've seen Qatar play before at their best would have expected. I've seen Qatar play before the World Cup on a couple of occasions, and I expected at least a bit more than what they delivered yesterday. So that was disappointing. But frankly speaking, despite the Ecuadorians getting the better of them with relative ease, they were not particularly impressive either. So I think this group is really, there are two clear favorites for me to go through. But the question will be, will they deliver on the football pitch? Because football isn't played on paper, it's played on grass. So we'll see how the Dutch and the Senegalese do today.
Yeah, rightly said. I agree with you on your take that we know that we as football fans, as football lovers, as football enthusiastic, we believe that it's going to be the Dutch national team and Senegal as favorites to qualify from that group to the next round of the World Cup. But we also, like you rightly said, you don't know until game day, until it's going to be match day. Then we'll realize and find out which team wanted more. But for me, I also agree with you on what you said that game there was nothing really special in the first fixture because I think like I don't know if it was the occasion, maybe the Qatar players were sucked in with all the crowd and how would I say the build up to the event, the build up to the game.
Sure.
build up to the game. Maybe they were a little bit jittery in the first half because this team, for them to be the champions of HR and
Right.
coming into this game with the Ecuador national team, a lot of us were expecting a lot more from this Qatar team because
Absolutely.
personally, I was thinking they would be able to utilize the 12th man, which is the presence of playing at home
fans,
and also
yeah.
having their fans in behind them. I was thinking they were going to utilize that and pose
Sure.
some threat to the Ecuador national team, but
Yeah.
these guys could barely string 5 passes, and I was
Yeah.
wondering what was going on. And like JJ Okocha, the legend, said, he said these guys have been in camp for over 5 months. What have they been doing if they can string 5 passes? So let's just hope that they are going to turn up in the rest games in the group stage, and also hopefully they could maybe pull off a shocker in one of the games between Senegal and the
No
the
shocker,
Netherlands.
zero.
No,
Zero
as the Netherlands, but not in the game against Senegal. Personally, maybe they could shock the Orange Boys. But I know that the Nigerian Englishman would not agree with that one on me. But what's your take on the first game between Qatar and Ecuador?
The first game, you guys basically covered it, man. There wasn't really much to talk about. Normally nobody would watch that game. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's just that it had happened to be the first of many games. So I'm sure more people watched it for that reason. And 2 goals for Valencia. He did his thing. Top scorer for Ecuador in World Cup history now. Do you get me?
Big player.
First team to lose in the first host nation to lose their first game, right?
Even Bafana didn't. This is a great
Exactly.
observation. Listen, we did not. We were the first country to not make it to the second round. Okay, yes, as a host nation.
No, but you still won. Shabalala scored that
and
goal.
we beat. Yeah, and we beat. No, we didn't win. We tied Mexico.
You tied, yeah.
We beat a France team that, despite not playing much, still had Thierry Henry, right? Had Nicolas Anelka.
You talk your talk.
Yes, no, I'm going to talk my talk because at least we were not the worst host nation in history. Thank God for that.
Nah, Qatar, I think they're gonna take that title, man. I don't see them registering a point.
They're gonna take
this tournament.
But I would like us to move from the game yesterday also to the African champions. We all know that we've all seen the sad news, and just like you guys, I was very disappointed with that news coming out that the African Footballer of the Year, Sadio Mane, which is like one of the biggest exports coming from Africa in terms of football right now, it's not going to be part of that team.
Devastating news. Devastating.
Like you rightly said, that was devastating for me. I don't know how this team will cope without their talisman, without their leader, without their player, the biggest player who always turns up when the occasion is big. And you would not want to go into one of the biggest competition ever, the biggest stage ever, without one of your best player. I know that this is not what they were
not even
for.
one of the best player on the continent. Not even just one of your best, the best African player, bro.
Yeah, it could not have been said better. But I don't know. What do you guys think are the chances of Senegal going into this competition without Sadio Mane? Like you said, the best player on the continent. What do you guys think is going to be the chances of this team in Group A?
Go ahead, Niger Englishman.
Go ahead. Let's
stress me so that I can speak after.
Look, this is what I'm going to say. The top 2 in this group are clearly going to be Netherlands and Senegal, right? Even though Mane is missing, Senegal are still the most organized African team there is there. And they're a great force. They've got confidence with their manager, renewing his contract as well. So there's longevity there. Someone that understands them, building his professional career as well. So I see it today in particular is going to be a tricky tie. Look, this is probably one game where, obviously, as you can see the shirt I'm wearing, you know the team I'm repping. Let me explain that first before I continue first. Obviously, before I really knew a lot of black players when it came to football, one of the first few players I really was drawn to was Marco van Basten. Like, I mean, how technical he was as a striker, left foot, right foot, he could dribble, long shot, tap in, like all types of goals. The guy was incredible. obviously, eventually, then my dad showed me videos of Pele, and I saw Ian Wright and became an Arsenal fan, and the rest is history, all of that. But Van Basten was the first player I was really, really drawn to, and he played for Holland. And obviously, I wasn't really an England fan in those days, so I picked up Holland, and I've just followed them since. Like the players like Rijkaard, Gullit, Bergkamp, Overmars, even Van Nistelrooy, to Robin. You know, there's been a number of technically gifted, the Boer brothers as well. I mean, the long list is there. So that's why I'm drawn to Holland. Obviously, Arsenal players, Bergkamp, have played for Holland too, which also helps the narrative. So, Mbizo, that's why. Yo. But with that being said, I don't mind if Senegal perform well today, because obviously they're an African nation, and I don't know if you guys saw what Eto'o predicted as his final for the World Cup. Yeah. And look, as much as people might laugh at Morocco versus Cameroon, and as funny as it might sound, like, why shouldn't the African nations come into the tournament with that arrogance? Like, why not? For a change. Let's not go there to participate and make the numbers. Let's go and, like, even though we might not win it, but let's have the attitude that, you know what, why can't that be the final? Yeah. And I think we need to always, as a continent, be pushing that narrative a lot more than laughing at Eto'o for these wild claims. I think I don't mind getting behind it. And you never know with Qatar, because it's the most unexpected World Cup for many reasons. Yeah. So Shocks Day. Let's just say Shocks Day for this World Cup. So let's see. It could be an African team. And there's no better equipped team than Senegal to go all the way. But as you said on my show, Cameroon's always a dark horse. And the party has started at Arsenal. So can they get started at the Olympics with Thomas Partey? You hear me?
Talking about Cameroon, just while you were finishing up on your point, our brother from Cameroon, Kosi, joined us. And it's a good thing Kosi is on this show because, like you said, you were talking about the clip, the statements from Samuel Eto'o, the president of the FECAFOOT, which is the Cameroon Football Association. He's been talking about believing that this Cameroon national team will get all the way to the final. And you said, why can't the African teams have this belief, have this confidence of going all the way? I saw a clip from the Cameroon camp yesterday, and it was really, 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 really convincing that these guys are fired up. That's why we needed Kosi's input on this show. Kosi, good to have you on the show. We'll get to that. But before you come in on the show, Kosi, let's hear from the professor what he thinks the chances of Senegal going very far in this competition without their talisman, their leader, and their captain, Sadio Mane.
Oh, okay. I'll go first. Kosi, welcome, brother. It's great to have you. I'm looking forward to your contributions, and I actually have a couple of questions for you. I hope you can, share your insight of what's happening in the Cameroon camp later, my brother. So welcome. As far as this game is concerned, I'm beefing Niger Englishman today because he has the audacity to come onto this show with a Dutch jersey. But we'll forgive him. We'll forgive him. We know football is an emotional creature, so it's fine. Yes, Senegal, less their talisman. Okay, one of the best African players for me of all time, and I don't think it's a question any longer. Even if it was a question a season or two ago, it no longer is. But, and I've said this before on numerous occasions, Senegal has a team. Senegal is a 26-man squad of quality players. And I think it's the first time we are really seeing that from an African team, where the level of depth, not just in talent, because Africa is deep with talent, but experience, playing at top clubs in the world, being coached by top managers in the world, in every large competition. I mean, it feels like there's Senegalese players everywhere. For the first time, I think in African history, I think we feel as though so many players have missed out, because Senegal has so many good footballers. And I actually think maybe even Cameroon is quite the same. We have so many talented players in big places in the world who are important to their clubs that Senegal needs to not feel sorry for themselves. Is it a blow? Yes, it is. But if they have the mentality that, for example, Samuel Eto'o is demonstrating, that, listen, we are African champions. We are not coming here as a nobody. Who is Netherlands right now in European football? Netherlands is the nobody coming into this game. at this current juncture in world football. Senegal is a giant right now, and yes, we know in terms of historical context, the Netherlands is a large nation, but I think this is a critical match for Senegal. Can they win it? Yes. Will they win it? Depends. It depends on the performance. It depends on their mentality. But if they do win, I think we're looking at the beginning of something very special, because if they beat a team like Netherlands, they can have full confidence that they can slay Ecuador. And
the same Netherlands that you just called a nobody, yeah?
That's the same one. That's the same one. You can call me Samuel Eto'o if you want. I'm also making big statements, right? Because I think that's the attitude that these African teams should have. And can afford to have, even if they do not win. I mean, why does England have such big confidence in themselves as favorites?
Bro, I'm with you.
What gives them the right? What gives them the right? The last time, Bafana has won a cup more recently than England. We won AFCON in 1996. Okay, I think it was, right? So please, if any team has the right to come in this bragging with a little bit of arrogance under the belt, confidence under the belt, I think it's Senegal. And if they step up and they rise to the occasion and they dig deep and say, yes, we are without money, but we are all good footballers, and they are. They may even play better, because when a team comes together, in 2002, they had no single player as good as Sadio Mane in 2002. There was no single footballer on that team that was as good as Sadio Mane, despite being a very good team. So if they do the same this time around and come together, right, and play together, play for each other, they can go very far.
Mbito, you made mention of the team of the 2002 Senegalese team that went to the World Cup and shocked the defending champions, France. Do you think this current team is as talented as that team?
This Senegalese team?
The current Senegalese team.
I think the current Senegalese team is more talented than that team. One, and I think Netherlands is way weaker than what that French team was. So the coincidence of these two events.
Why are you bullying the Dutch like this, man? Come on.
Listen. The Dutch did it to themselves. They're below their level. This is the worst Dutch team I've ever seen in my lifetime. Not that they're poor.
Nah, you're right.
But it's the worst I've seen in my lifetime. And it's the best Senegalese team I've seen in my lifetime. One of the best African teams I've seen in my lifetime. So these two events happening in the same moment, it really bodes well for this African nation, and all for the rest of us except this one here with his orange jersey.
well, I know that deep down, the Nigerian Englishman even wants the Senegalese team to succeed. And
for sure.
Let's see how that one will pan out.
I like a bit of controversy too.
For sure.
Have you watched the movie Cool Runnings? You've watched the movie, right?
Oh, of course.
What Eto'o is saying reminds me of Cool Runnings. Remember when Dries was like obsessed with the Swiss team, and he was like eins, zwei, drei when they were about to go bobsledding, and then Sanko was like, Dries, no, we're Jamaican, whatever he said, yeah. He said, no, we've got to do our thing.
Yeah.
So that's the mentality we need to come with, the arrogance and confidence to do it our way. Our way can win. Obviously, we can take little things we like from the different leagues that some of these players are involved in, but we need to do it our way and finally put us on the map properly. Like, get the respect we deserve.
No foreign coach has ever won the World Cup. Only coaches from the country that has won the World Cup. So it has to be a domestic coach. It has to be a domestic coach. It has to be an African coach. And I think all our best performances, whether on the continent or outside, have sort of demonstrated that.
Good to have you back on the show, Kosi. How you doing, brother?
No, all good, bro. All good. I hope you all are rooting for Cameroon.
Always, my brother. Always.
Bro.
That one's a bit. Yeah, that's a bit hot and cold because
you've started.
No, but you know our history with Cameroon and Bizo. You know what?
Mute this guy's microphone.
On this front, I'm putting that history on the side.
It's bittersweet. So sometimes,
I know it's bittersweet, but
I'm not saying I'm against them, but it's not as clear as you guys are saying. That's what I'm saying.
But Kosi, good to have you. Good to have you on the show. Before we go down to business, business side of the Cameroon national team, I would want you to give your opinion, what you think are the chances of this Senegalese team without their talisman, Sadio Mane. We know that one is not just a blow for the Senegalese team, it's a blow for every African, it's a blow for the continent, it's a blow for the football world. Everybody, African, Europeans, everybody wanted to see Sadio Mane play in this World Cup. What do you think are the chances of the Senegalese team without their star player?
Without any doubt, Senegal, amongst all the other African countries, is the best in terms of squad depth. And this team has been together for since 2017, and under Aliou Cissé, and he's a coach that has groomed his boys to play under any condition, and we saw that in the AFCON that just passed in Cameroon, seeing them win. They started the tournament without their star goalkeeper Mendy. Koulibaly wasn't there, so that means the absence of Mane already has the coach thinking of another possibility. We've seen him bring in a defender, which means the attack is not even his problem. Mane was just an added force to his squad, and a very formidable one for that matter, because he can create something out of nothing at any moment. But still, now there is a chance for another player to be a Mane in this World Cup. Senegal has players who come from top teams. It is not just like any other country that you can see players coming from leagues that are not even renowned. Senegal has players from very top teams, and they've worked under top managers, like the professor said, and Aliou Cissé having to groom the boys with a high spirit. You know, in the national team game, a high and united spirit is what makes the difference. When you see teams like Brazil, Argentina, France, it is not how often they train or the quality of the squad, but how united, how highly spirited the squad can perform when they are together. We saw Argentina win Brazil in the Copa America, not because they played better or they had a better squad, but because they had that spirit to give their all on the pitch in order to get what they had been looking for a long while. And that is what Senegal needs. Senegal already has that spirit of champions in them, and today they are going to put it out there. Netherlands too is coming with hunger for missing out in the last top competition in Europe, and now their squad is actually good, but not as good as the Netherlands we have always seen. The last time Netherlands went to the final, we saw the likes of Ruben, Schneider, and other top players. But this time around, yes, we have good names. Cody Gakpo is a top name, but he's still not that kind of player we can say we are vying for. Maybe if he does something great, we will say he is some sort of James Rodriguez for this. Yeah, it could be his tournament to show himself. But at this moment, we cannot actually say we have that full force of backing him like how Argentina can be say we have Messi to put up some magic for them. So to me, Senegal has a big chance. They can surprise us. That is a team that can do anything at any moment, and we've seen them rank highly in the FIFA rankings, and that is not because they won the AFCON. That is because they have been performant, and today can still be another day. And they have to do it today for Sadio Mane. That is another motivation for them. They have to do it today for Sadio Mane.
Games, so it's now for them to, you know.
I think Senegal can do something.
Like you said, Nigerian Englishman, he has carried them for many games. It's time for them to also try to make him
carry him.
Carry him.
Let them carry him now.
I don't know if you guys have seen the message of Sadio Mane to the team and also to the footballing world, saying that he had the successful surgery and is hoping that his team are going to put up a show and make Africa proud, make Senegalese proud also. So we're hoping that the Teranga Lions are going to make us proud and not put a smile on the face of the Nigerian Englishman who's on the show. I know he has to leave very soon, but before we let you go, the Nigerian Englishman, what's your take on the Cameroonian national team, and what's your prediction for the game between Senegal and Netherlands before you go?
On the Cameroonian team, obviously, as I said, it's a bit of a love and hate thing, but as we are not at the tournament, I have no other reason no reason to hate them this tournament. So I'm definitely going to be supporting them this tournament. And with Cameroon, as I said, you can never count them out. They're just one of these teams, man. Like I don't like can
Germany,
rise to the big
Italy.
occasion, huh?
Like Italy, like Germany, teams that just
like
giants
they
of the game.
Nonsense since, but on the big occasion, they can just do something to shock the world. So you really never know with them. I'd never rule them out. I think they've got just as good a chance as Senegal because of how surprising they can be on their day. But realistically, obviously, they're not coming on the best run. But I'm sure Kozi will let us know that. I wouldn't know who their danger men are right now because I don't follow them as strongly as in the past. But
I can if I can take over from here, because there's also I want to end with some questions for Kosi as well. So maybe I can sort of give my opinion and then filter into asking Kosi as well, so that he can give us his insight there. Okay. So for me, I think Cameroon is the second strongest team coming into this.
I agree.
Not only on paper, but for me, and please don't kill me, I thought Cameroon played more attractive football than Senegal in the last AFCON. At least in the opening.
That's a fact. That's actually a fact.
In terms of the delight to the eye, Cameroon was a better team to watch, right? Flowing football, obviously the crowd behind them, they used the 12th man better than the Qatari, right? So there was, I think Cameroon is also coming with a lot.
Sorry, Abubakar, that guy. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you see, and that's the thing I was going to say, is that the Cameroon team is beginning to demonstrate the same mentality as their leader, who in this case is Samuel Eto'o. They're beginning to demonstrate a bit of an arrogance, you know, in the way that they speak, in the way that they move. Will the football match that? I mean, obviously we hope so, but the football matching the mentality has to start. The mentality is the beginning of a transformation.
And it transfers down
as well. Right? I mean, you look at Abubakar, we know is an iconic for Cameroonian football at the moment. Choupo-Moting is playing like R9, phenomenal. Circa 90.
This guy's playing
one of the most infamous strikers in the world now.
Everything he touches turns to gold, right? He's King Midas at the moment, right?
Hey, Choupo-Moting from Stoke.
But there's also unknown players. But there's also unknown players that I think I really like. And I say unknown because they're unknown outside of Africa. Samuel Gouet. Okay, in the center of the park for Cameroon, I thought was spectacular in the last AFCON. I don't know what are his chances of starting there, Kosi. What are his chances of playing in this edition? But when I watched him in the last AFCON, he was buzzing in that midfield. He was a metronome, like Thomas Partey to Ghana. You know, at least that's what he looked like. Obviously, there's Zambo Anguissa, who for me is one of the top midfielders in the world. For me. Onana, goalkeeper. You know, Cameroon is extremely powerful. And I wanted to find out from Kosi, that's the first thing, is Samuel Gouet. What will his part be? Because he's a player that I really, really enjoy. And what will that midfield do you expect to look like for Cameroon? Also, Mbuemo, right? Do you expect him to be able to perform? I mean, he's just come in, you know, he's not as Cameroonian as the rest of the Cameroonians.
He's the guy that plays for Brentford, right?
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah. But he's a good player. I like him. You know, he can create things on his own. Do you think he will have a big part to play in this tournament for Cameroon? So those are some of the questions that I have for you, my brother Kosi.
First of all, the atmosphere around the Indomitable Lions is special this time around. It's different. The motivation, which we know is actually what generates the adrenaline in the players to give out their best, this time around is different. One person, Samuel Eto'o. He wants to change the face of football in Cameroon, Africa, and the world. Yes, generally. So
I can feel the chest in your voice, even because
that
is it. That is it. So when
I need to send you guys. I need to send you guys the clip from the Cameroon national team bus ride yesterday. You guys need to see that clip after that show. Yes,
but let my land Kosi land.
Go. Give us inside info.
Yeah. So actually, there were some controversies that like some players were not happy in the camp, but that was just social media interpretation of what you see on a video with respect to scenarios. But when you see the team after the game against Panama, and even during the game, people will say we had to win the game, but Panama is a good side. They played well, and the players too were trying to play safe. You will not just go and give it out all in a friendly when you can get an injury and all of that. But actually, the coach saw what he needed to see, and he tried the players he needed to try. And now I believe with that game, he can already have a side of a lineup, a starting 11, which is what the Cameroonians are looking forward to, because just from the first 11 that started against Panama, there were already people saying we need to alter this, we need to start with this man, we need to start with this man, because we know the players who are in form, we've seen them play, and now we are looking forward to the lineup Rigobert Song will put into the field. But there is one thing about Rigobert Song. He believes in team spirit even more than how good a player can be. Rigobert Song will go for a player that can put out 200% in the field than a player who is good and is only ready to give in only 100%. So, talking about your first question, which had to do with the midfield pack.
Yeah.
Yes. Umguet, as you said, is from the AFCON, as you said, he was that man who gave the chance for Anguissa to do whatever he wants.
Yes,
he was that man at the center midfield pack. But after the Uzbekistan game, we saw Cameroonians starting to say we need to start Olivier Cham.
Okay.
Prospectively, Olivier Cham is good, but to me and the national selection, we need to use players that have played often together.
Yeah.
And that midfield combination of Zambo Anguissa, Martin Ongla, Umguet, they've always delivered. Yes. And people have actually been complaining about Umguet because he didn't have game time in his team in Belgium.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the national team is a different ball game. Players have come into the national selection without even having a game time. We saw how Robson Kanu in 2016 with
even Robinho. Even Robinho was the same thing for Brazil.
also.
Robinho had a terrible club career, but you cannot leave them out of Brazil.
You cannot leave them out of the national scene. So to me,
what about Mario Götze?
Yeah,
Mario Götze too.
Injuries and all, but for the national team,
wins you a World Cup.
They bring him to the World Cup. He's still the German Joel. So for the midfield pack, I think Zambo Anguissa, Martin Ongla, Umguet are still that pair which Rigobert Song will go for. And also, there's something we have to know. Umguet is one of those players that has passed through all the categories of the national team. So he knows that feeling of being an indomitable lion. He knows that feeling of being an indomitable lion. When Coach Rigobert Song was coach with the under-23s, he was there and he was captain. He's been captain of the junior categories before. So when you see him in the field, he's like a commander.
You can see, I was going to say, you can see that leadership. It spills out.
Yes, he's a commander. So that's the difference he makes. But someone who just looks at football, a fan, you say, okay, Olivier Cham is doing miracles with Swansea. He scored even before taking the flight to Abu Dhabi and all of that. He must play. But there's a different ball game when all of this comes here.
Yes.
Okay, let me cite an example for the case of Faye Collins and Olivier Mbaizo. Faye Collins is a right back who he plays in Saudi Arabia with Altai, but anytime he's with the national team, he's that player that gives in 1,000%, not just 100. And you see, like during the AFCON the commentator on CR national TV in Cameroon said, dependable Faye Collins. You depend on him today, tomorrow, and forever. And at any moment, he is always ready to give an eye for the indomitable Lions. Mbaizo has been good with his team in the MLS. They even won the Eastern Conference, though they lost the finals of the MLS in general. But you cannot say the coach should take him over Faye Collins because in the national team, it's a different ball game. Abubakar too, most of us are saying he shouldn't start. But we saw in the AFCON. Yes, we saw in the AFCON, he came from the same Saudi Arabia. We are saying he's coming from an inferior league, but he was a top scorer. He was a top scorer. He's been in the den for long. He's one of those players who came to the national team from the local league. He was playing with Cotton Sports. but he
Sport.
came in and we've seen him put up for middle. He has great numbers for the national team. Among the present squad, he's the highest goal scorer in the national selection. And he is always ready to give it out for the national selection. But we cannot forget the informed man, Choupo-Moting. There's one thing in football, you don't give chances when it comes to a player who is in iron hot form, and Choupo-Moting is that player. The coach should not joke about giving him the chance to exhaust all his goals in this World Cup. We saw him coming in against Panama. His first touch was a strike in goal after Zambo Anguissa pressed on the midfield of Panama, took the ball, sent it to him. His first touch, he struck a rebound, he took the ball back, and the third was a goal. That is the kind of player you need. And Choupo-Moting is that player whom Cameroonians have so much hope in, that he can do something in Qatar.
Yeah.
But most importantly, the team is highly motivated. This is the first time you will hear that a Cameroon team is going to the World Cup without any controversy as we respect to appearance fee.
Salary,
there's been no
salaries,
problem.
issues,
They've had 60 million francs paid in cash.
Travel arrangement problems and all of that.
Typical African issues.
Proper. Yes, there's been no issue around that. And those are one of the things we have to applaud Samuel Eto'o for.
Yes.
He's done everything possible to see that the boys are happy. And the first time Cameroon had a game in the national selection, when Samuel, that was 9 months ago, when he took over as president of FECAFOOT, he said, I am here to give you what we didn't have before, to give you all you need, to give us the best. And he said, give every Cameroonian, your mothers in the village, your junior brothers, the younger ones aspiring to be footballers, a chance to dream. And that his dream is to have Cameroon leave Qatar only after 18 December. Which means
when will we be voting for Samuel Eto'o for president of the nation? Because that's the direction this man is heading, no?
For now, Samuel Eto'o is president. He's president of the Football Federation. He has 7 years to go. And we can even give him more because we want the best for our game. We want in such a way that in years to come, a Cameroonian will be happy to make a career in Cameroon as a footballer and not even think of going to Europe. Because 100% of the players playing football in Cameroon now dream of only making it a year in Cameroon and flying to Europe. But since Samuel Eto'o came into power, we saw the least salary for a player in the first division
was raised, right? It was
minimum was 36,000. At SIF, that means football was downgraded to the lowest pay in the country. Samuel Eto'o raised to 100,000. Now it is 200,000. Next year is going to be 300 because it says 2025 is going to be 400. So we see that even before the 2025, you can hear that we can already start talking about 1 million, and that is what the game needs. Many people who had already said, okay, bon, we are not playing this game again, it's given us nothing, they are back on the stage. We can see the last time Cotton Sport of Garoua went to CAF Champions League final, where Al Ali won them. One of their top strikers, who was the top scorers at the moment, Yukuda Kada, had already given up and he was not playing professional football again, but now he's back. He's playing professional football and he's among the top scorers of this season. That is 10 years back, he's returned to the stage because of Samuel Eto'o. Many players have come back. We have the likes of Moyopo, who has resigned with Renaissance Dengumo at the age of 37. So you see that people who had already retired and looking for another means have seen that football can still give them something.
Can give life.
And that is because of Samuel Eto'o. And that is the spirit that now the Cameroon Indomitable Lions have at hand. They are jubilating. You see the energy in them. Believe me, against Switzerland, I am rooting for Cameroon to win, not because of I am a Cameroonian or because I am a fan of the Cameroonian game, but the energy, the spirit I see in those boys, not because Ghana defeated Switzerland, but because I believe there's an extra spirit. And with the spark of Zambo Anguissa brilliance, Brian Bemo brilliance, Kaltoko Ekambi brilliance,
brilliant, yeah.
Andre Onana at the goal in Inter has been perfect. We have a spice of players who have faced or who have been involved in tough games. We have young Christopher Wo, who we saw with Star Rene in the Europa League. He even scored the goal that took them to the next stage. So we have players who have been on the center stage, though this is their first World Cup. They've
been on the big
now,
stage.
Now they are hungrier than before. They want to prove something. Many of them want to prove something, and they want to maintain, to be part of the national team for a long time. We see that this squad has 10 players who were not involved in the AFCON squad. That means now they have 10 new players with revived energy, with hunger. So I believe the Indomitable Lions can do what Samuel Eto'o is hoping for.
Can't wait.
They can do it.
Can't wait.
Wow. That's been a lot of insightful contribution from you, Kosi. And also you've been giving us inside information of what the feeling is like in Cameroon, and also the feeling in the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon camp. But I would like us to move away from talking about Cameroon now. Let's talk about which players do you guys think, which young players do you guys think are going to take the center stage in this competition? Because a lot of countries are going into, you just rightly said that this Cameroonian national team are going into this competition with 10 new players who are new to the setup, who did not make it to the AFCON. And in those 10 players, there would definitely be a lot of young players amongst them. And also we've been seeing the countries from Europe also going into the competition with young, talented players. Also countries from South America and the rest of the world are going into this competition with young, talented players also. But individually, which young players do you think we should be looking out for in this at the biggest stage of football, the World Cup?
Okay, well, I'll take this one and give my brother Kosi a bit of a rest there after telling us so much about fascinating stuff about Cameroon there. I think because we've also been seeing so many injuries, right? We've been seeing a lot of injuries because of how tight the schedule has been in the lead up to the World Cup. So we're seeing that a lot of teams have some pretty important players that have been missing. And many of them are maybe already established players, So I think that there's a great opportunity for many countries, many young players across the board. And almost every team that's participating to really show themselves. I think football on the whole is in a transitional period. Why? You have people like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, maybe even Neymar coming towards the end of an era, right? Coming towards the end of their career. Such iconic players who dominate the game for so long. You have the emergence of such players like Mbappe and Haaland and this new generation of youngsters. I think we're in that period of football right now where the biggest stars are coming to an end and some new stars are going to be born. I mean, speaking about Senegal, since that's the game that we're really looking forward to coming up, one of the players I really, really like is Bamba Dieng, the Marseille boy. I think he's a quality player. I think he has the potential to be another Sadio Mane, right? And this is exactly what my brother here was saying, Kosi, is that you have an opportunity for some of these youngsters to fill the shoes of their icon, to fill their shoes of their leader in his absence, and not to capitulate under the pressure, right, and the despair of his absence. So there's a lot of really young players. England, for example, I'm really looking forward to watching this Jude Bellingham play. I think he's a quality player. But I think what handicaps him, of course, is not only his national team coach, but the English footballing culture and mentality. It's all wrong and it's very outdated. And so I think he may suffer a bit from that, but I think he's a top quality player. Spain has a good host of these quality youngsters. Pedri, in particular, I think is a spectacular player. We spoke about Gakpo, right? Cody may be the stage, but another one I like from that Dutch team that I think could potentially surprise us is that Xavi Simons boy, right? Or is it Simons? I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but he's been having a
player,
there at PSV, right? I mean, unbelievable season at PSV. Goals, assists, dribbles. I mean, he's turning into a classic 10. A guy who can really, really do everything. So,
there's even been talks about him going back to PSG with the kind of season he's having.
Exactly. No, I mean, if I'm PSG, there's some guys there in my midfield, Danilo Pereira. You know, I can ship these guys out and I can bring in Xavi Simons. You know, certainly, but he needs to play. Don't recall him back if you're going to bench him because he's flourishing.
Sure.
He's flourishing. He's becoming something beautiful, right? Yeah. So there's a couple of youngsters and a couple of teams that I think have some good youngsters that we want to see sort of burst onto the scene. And so yeah, I mean, a friend of ours in the group, Akpos, Temba Maluleke, he keeps saying that this is the World Cup where new stars will be born. You know, he keeps saying that. He's been reiterating that for weeks. And so yeah, let's keep on the eye out, man. You know, and the World Cup is one of those places where players that were not on the radar at all burst onto the scene. This is the stage. True. This is when teams like Costa Rica start exporting players. You know, who knows about football in Costa Rica until Costa Rica comes into the World Cup and starts winning games 4-2, 5-1, you know, or whatever. You know, so there's magic in the air always at the World Cup, and so we hope many of these youngsters come out and shock and surprise us.
That's been a very good one from you. As always, the professor. Let's hear from you, Kosi. Which young players do you think will take the center stage at the World Cup?
The first thing about young players is the coaches should have a message to themselves from every footballing fan, which is give these young guys a chance. Give them a chance. This is where they burst out. This is where you see them. Thomas Muller is one of the most fantastic players in German history, but we saw that Thomas Muller from 2010. So these things, we need to start having those players getting the chance now. Van Gaal, give Xavi Simons the chance. In Paris Saint-Germain, we didn't see him playing often, but with game time in PSV, we've seen that talent we used to know about from his days in La Masia of Barcelona. So now give him that chance. He can do it. We've seen him bossing around in the European stage, and that means in the World Cup now he can do it perfectly. Jude Bellingham, the English lad whom we've seen do wonders with BVB, captaining a team at that very young age, give him the chance. Yeah. We have, I think, Jamal Musiala. I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
What a player!
And then the other day, Ghana played Switzerland. I saw this guy who plays with Hearts of Oak, Afriye Banier. This guy, Afriye Banier. Give him the chance. Let us feel
players, huh?
Yes, let us feel. Even Fatau, the guy who was best player in the under-20 AFCON in Mauritania. Though he's not been having enough game time with the senior team in Sporting Lisbon, but the national team can give him the chance. Sure. He can do it. So there are many players, even this Karim Adeyemi.
Karim Adeyemi.
Germany has taken
12 youngs, yes. Yeah. Even Mukoko, the lad whom all Cameroonians are crying.
It seems Germany are moving to taking the Africans now.
Yeah, well, you're silly if you don't, right? You're silly if you don't.
We are crying. Cameroonians are crying for Mukoko. We are crying.
That's three young
crying, my brother. I'm crying. I'm not Cameroonian, but I'm crying.
Players, three young talented players who could potentially turn into superstars, making the German national team to the World Cup.
Do you know Cameroon actually has 9 players? Cameroon has 9 players with different countries in this World Cup. 9.
My God.
Cameroon has 9 players with different countries. We have Onana in Belgium. Very good player.
Oh,
Onana. That's Cameroonian.
And listen, what Belgium looks like that, huh? Please explain to me what Belgium looks like that.
So these are things. These are things we are actually crying for. But I'm talking about young players. We know everybody knows what Mbappe is all about. He's no longer. We can actually take him in the ranks of the big boys now. He's a big boy. So we are not looking forward to him to show us something new, but he's going to do the magic. Yeah. So there are many youngsters whom we can look forward to, but the coaches should at least give them the chance. You know, no matter how good you are with no game time, you cannot create magic for yourself.
Yeah.
So they can give them a period of transition with the old players now to give us that moment of magic. Rodrigo with Brazil, he's been doing it with Real Madrid, and he's going to do it again with Brazil. He's going to do it. Yeah. So I think these guys are going to do. They are going to do the magic. And but top of my list, Xavi Simons, Pedri. I forgot Pedri.
Yeah, Pedri from
Pedri.
Spain. I
Yes,
mentioned
he
him.
was.
I mentioned him.
And
Yes,
and
Pedri
Gavi.
is very good. Yes, Gavi. All those Barcelona,
Yeah.
and we know even Balde, who has been called up late. Give him the
Oh, they
chance.
called him.
He can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
called
they called him
Alejandro.
late.
Oh,
And
okay.
and
Good.
also
They're
we are
snapping up
forgetting.
all the Africans. These people. They're snapping up the
I think
Africans.
yeah, I think also we are forgetting one young player also because of the fact that it's been playing first team football for the last couple of seasons. William Saliba. I
Yes.
feel like it's good.
Uh,
I feel like
You're a
he
defender. You're a
could also have a
defender.
very good
Yes.
World Cup.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't mention France because it's
And you know
entire-
Saliba is a
entire-
Cameroonian.
It's a, oh, really? Oh, wow.
Saliba is a Cameroonian mother, Lebanese father. So
Wow, I did not.
Cameroon
know.
too. Those are. He's
Yeah,
one
the
of the
reason I
9
didn't
Cameroon
mention
players.
France- The reason I didn't mention
Yes.
France is because pretty much the entire team is youngsters, and pretty much the entire team is African. So you know, I mean, it goes without saying. But yeah, speaking about Brazil in particular, absolutely right. There's a lot of expectation in some of the youngsters for Brazil, particularly in the attack. Right, people are very expectant of Vini Jr. and Rodrigo. Anthony is still a young player.
Anthony.
People are still expecting some stuff. Rafinha is still a young player. I mean, 23, 24.
Yeah, very young.
That's still young. So there's a lot of expectation of these guys as well.
So, brothers, it's been a very good show. I would love us to wrap up the show at this point
And
so
watch
we
England
could all go-
suffer.
Yeah. So we could all go and watch the England game. But before I let you guys go, it's been an honor to have you guys on the very first stream on this channel. So I want to say a very big thank you, my brothers. Before I let you guys go, I would like you guys to tell me your pick on which player you think is going to win the Golden Boot at the World Cup, because the top scorer prediction is one prediction that I think it's not a very easy one. A lot of people who have asked who they think is going to win the Golden Boots have been a little bit how will I say it, not so sure, not so confident with their prediction, and they said it's not an easy one to make. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is going to at the end of this competition walk away with the Golden Boot?
You know what? This is damn near impossible, to be honest, this year. But I'm just going to throw it out because I think Argentina will go far. And I think they're a different team this year than they have been. I think more players are ready to step up and support Messi. So I'm going to say Messi. But I'm not very confident in that answer. This is just me avoiding being political. Okay? I'll just say Messi. But because I think this is such a different World Cup, I really think the goals will be shared. So even when we have a Golden Boot, the scoring for the Golden Boot won't be what it's been in the past, your 9 goals or whatever, however many it's been, these large numbers. I think the Golden Boot is going to be small numbers because goals will be shared. Every team, goals will be shared. I think, is Lukaku healthy?
He's not fit for the first game.
He's not fit for the first game. Okay,
Not
maybe I
fit for
would
the
have thrown
first
his
game.
name
Oh,
in the
wow.
hat. Maybe I would have thrown his name in the hat if he was fit for the first game, and maybe if he's a doubt, then maybe not. The best strikers, your Lewandowskis, have to play with Poland, so there's not much hope there, if you ask me. So I'll go with Messi.
Okay. Kosi, what's your pick? What's your pick on the prediction?
Many top players, many top strikers, many.
I think we're okay, Kosi.
I think I'll go for Harry
ahead.
Kane.
Okay, you pick Harry
Kosi,
Kane.
I liked you so much, I liked you so much in this show, my brother. You have to end with this. You have to end like this, my brother. No, Kosi, don't do this.
But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes, Kosi. Let's hope that your prediction will be a right one. Who knows? Maybe Kane can score an hat-trick +1 today against the Iran national team. But I know Mbizio is not expecting that from the English national team. But let's see how that one is going to pan out. But it's been a very good show, my brothers. Thanks for coming on the show
Thank you so much, guys.
on such short notice. The professor also Kosi. Thanks a lot for coming on the show on such short notice and for your insightful information on what things are like in the Cameroonian national team and what's the feeling in general in Cameroon about the Cameroon national team, and we are hoping that Cameroon will go to this World Cup and make us proud, fly the flag of Cameroon very high, and also we'll be able to lift our heads and beat our chest and come on the streams with our chest up high. That the African nations that have gone to this World Cup have actually represented the continent very well. But Kosi, one word for you before we wrap up the show. What would you like to tell the audience, and what would you like to tell people who would potentially see this stream much later from now?
Actually, I want to call on all Africans to support all the African teams like we are one. Mother Africa. Let's back our African teams, starting with Senegal today, and hoping that we all get through our groups and do even better than before, because we can do it. We are Africa. We've seen lots of talents from Africa, but we cannot only boast of making the quarterfinals and not pulling through. So this time around, we can make the difference.
And I'm hoping so, my brother. I'm hoping that we're going to break that record of not getting to the semi-final and hopefully get to the final, because I think it's been long overdue. But the professor, one word from you before we wrap up the show. What would you want to tell the audience and everyone who's going to see this clip?
I think I'm going to ride the train here that Kosi's on as well, and say, listen, Africans for Africa. We have African coaches. We have great opportunities for numerous African teams to do well, some to even surprise us. I think Morocco can pack a surprising punch if they want to. So let's come together, gents, and let's enjoy the World Cup. Yes, politics, controversy, they're all a part of the game, but football will always win. Football will always win.
That's right, my brother. Football will always win. Football will always take the center stage and put all of the controversies aside. On that note, it's your boy Akbos. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been on the stream. Kosi, the professor Mbizio, and the Nigerian Englishman also, who had to leave early because they had other engagements that's related to football. And everybody that's in the stream, don't forget to like this, share, subscribe, and hopefully we're going to be able to bring you more premium content as this competition moves forward. So on this note, we'll end the stream now. So thank you. Thanks, my brothers, for coming on this show. And you guys enjoy the rest of this beautiful game. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful competition and stay safe out there.